We're here at West Texas Arm Wrestling Practice. Everybody here getting ready for the West Texas Arm Wrestling Championships coming up on June 29th here in El Paso, Texas at the Border City Ale House. Right here, I've got the belt holder for the El Paso overall #1. He is the ranking holder. We've come up with some rules because he's got some challengers this year. I'm going to go over the rules, and there's a lot of hungry people out there that want this belt. So everybody listen carefully. The right and left-hand belt holders may be challenged to a championship match by the #1 contender. There's a $100 buy-in. Number 2, winning an open class at the West Texas Arm Wrestling Championships automatically qualifies a puller to be a contender in a single elimination bracket. If there's a lighter guy or a couple of lighter guys that win the lightweight classes, they will pull first and go against the heavier contender, but only if there's multiple qualifiers that win an open class at the West Texas Arm Wrestling Championships. Number 3, challengers who don't win an open class may buy in at $100 an arm. So if you don't win, but you still think you can take out this guy, it's $100 to buy in, but that only gets you a contender spot. You can pull against one of the guys who's an automatic qualifier. You can pull against a guy who won his open class. You also must have attended the previous West Texas Arm Wrestling Championships. So you can't just like sit out all year and then come and try and challenge for #1. You have to pull at the West Texas Arm Wrestling Championships. Number 4, a non-qualified puller cannot challenge if he lost to a guy who's an automatic qualifier. So if you came in second and you lost to one of those guys who qualified automatically, you can't pull. You're ineligible. The championship belt matches are a best 3 out of 5. And they will happen at the West Texas Arm Wrestling Championships. We've got one challenge match coming up this year, June 29th. All challenge matches must take place before the West Texas Arm Wrestling Championships. So we've got Luis Alarcon and Oscar Barrios. They both won open classes last year. They're going to have that challenge match, one match, to see who gets to take on Freddie Sanchez for the #1 overall.
Right hand.
It's only for the right hand. Now, Luis won his left hand class at the West Texas Arm Wrestling Championships last year. He's automatically qualified to pull against Freddie in the left hand belt challenge. Now, if the overall rankings belt holder does not compete in the West Texas Arm Wrestling Championships to defend the title, he must relinquish his belts.
So if I don't show up that day,
if he doesn't show up, loses it. You must be an El Paso, Texas resident. This is an El Paso #1 overall. This is not for West Texas. This is for the El Paso #1 overall. If the champion moves away, the belt becomes vacant and it's turned over to me. I will hold that belt and we will start all over with challenge matches to determine who is the new champion. Now, that should be pretty clear. I know there's a lot of rules there, but if you have any questions, let me know. You can message me or Freddie. But we've got some great matches coming up. Luis Alarcon, Freddie Sanchez, left arm for the belt. Luis against Oscar Barrios, pulling in a right-hand match to see who gets to challenge Freddie. It's going to be a lot of fun. June 29th, West Texas Arm Wrestling Championships here in El Paso. We'll see you there.
Yeah, and one more thing. And if one of you guys think out there in El Paso that you can beat Luis or Oscar, you can put in $100 as long as you pulled at last year's West Texas championships, and you didn't lose to either Luis or Oscar at that tournament.
Yeah.
So any of you guys can put up.
You can do that this year.
This year.
Yeah.
It has to happen before June 29th. So if there's anybody out there that still wants a shot at the #1 contender spot, you can still get in.
Yep.
Yeah. But for now, it's just Luis and Oscar.
Yep.
Right-handed and just Luis left.
Yeah.
So.
Hey, he's not that tall. Look, he's standing on a step, so I'm all right.
Yeah, so let's get it on.
All right, let's go.